Okay, footage has emerged of NRL 360 host Paul Kent involved in a drunken altercation outside of a restaurant in Sydney overnight. This comes not long after he's been found not guilty of assault. Like at the end of last year, he spent most of last year stood down by Fox League and the Daily Telegraph newspaper in Australia, pending the outcome of that trial. He was only reinstated to both his writing role at the Daily Telegraph and his presenting role on Fox League with NRL 360 earlier this year. He's only been back on our TV screens for a couple of months. Obviously, he was part of the NRL Vegas coverage, but it was a very divisive thing online. A lot of people said he shouldn't work for Fox League and the Daily Telegraph anymore, that they should move on from him. Others were like, saying that let the legal process run its course, and obviously that happened, and he was reinstated by Fox League and the Daily Telegraph. But this is going to put a lot of pressure on management at Fox League in the Fox Sports umbrella and the Daily Telegraph to take potential action. It's the footage. I mean, it's not really much of a fight, really. You can tell he's seriously intoxicated. The other person involved in the altercation. The video's all over the internet, by the way. It's on social media, on other platforms as well as YouTube. The other person seems less intoxicated. Clearly, something's happened inside the restaurant. There's people who obviously with Paul Kent as part of his friendship group are telling him not to escalate it any further. Clearly, whatever's happened has led to groups of people coming outside. And he ends up in an altercation. It's been doing the rounds on social media over the last few hours. This comes on the back of the Anzac weekend, which obviously is one of the biggest rounds in the NRL regular season. With all the Anzac, I wouldn't say festivities, but memorials and pre-match things going on, and what the Anzac Day actually means for Australia and New Zealand. Back to this, it is a bad look though for Fox League and the Daily Telegraph, considering they only recently reinstated him. Obviously, there's clearly alcohol involved. As I say, he's a controversial figure anyway. I don't dislike Paul Kent. I don't agree with everything he says on NRL 360 and everything he writes in his Daily Telegraph column. But I do think that controversy is what makes his column interesting and the Daily Telegraph interesting to purchase as a newspaper if you are a newspaper reader. And his appearances on NRL 360, because he is controversial in some of his opinions and some of his views, it makes for really intriguing television, whether you like it or not. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes of this. I can see him getting suspended, potentially fired, depending on what happens in regards to any charges brought by anyone, if there's any police involvement, considering he's recently just had an assault charge beaten in court. We'll see what happens, but it's not a good look for Paul Kent. It's not a good look for Fox League, considering they backed him during his suspension and reinstated him, and it's not really a good look for the Daily Telegraph. So we'll see if he appears on NRL 360 tomorrow, but it is doing the rounds. It's creating a lot of headlines, and people are watching the old Paul Kent videos I did last year about his suspension and his assault charges. So obviously it's fresh in the people's consciousness, and this is a situation that I don't think is going to go away for Fox League and the Daily Telegraph. I think they need to take action, and we'll see if he's suspended or not. Place your views in the comments section below. I'll be really interested to see what you guys have to say. But for me, for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon.